Let's go crash a tags match. And also not look at all the mess that's in my office right now. Here in Denver, I have to like actively choose not to play disc golf 100% of the time because there's something going on literally all the time. We're gonna actually film this the same way that I filmed my tournaments last year, which I'll just show you really simply what that is. I'm just charging these because I haven't used my GoPro in like months. But first, we gotta make a bag. Honestly, a little bit concerned about a distance bag. This is just a tags match, so there's no real pressure on it. But I think in starting from putters, we're just gonna go pretty simple. Have a slightly newer zero medium pure that I really love for like high flip to turn, or just like straight to turn. My P1 is kind of like my baby. I love this so much. And then I have an Envy. I'm hoping that this gets beat in a little bit. And I also have another shipment of Envies coming with my new stamp with actually a money foil on it, which is gonna be sick. Those should be here at some point for you guys to buy, but there's the Vision Envies, so I'm really excited about that. And then my two putting putters, obviously, I love the mist stamped ones. For mids, I don't really have anything super flippy. It's hard because I don't want to put too many discs in my bag that I'm not comfortable with. And right now I'm very comfortable with my Kotuku from RPM and my EMAC Truth, which I haven't really touched in a long time. It could be good to have something flippier, but I think for that I could probably just throw either a pure. It's kind of hard because I don't want to overdo it. I'd rather force myself to put these on different lines. So I think we're just going to rely on some touch today with these guys. These all down here are just all extra putting putters that I just keep in my bag because normally I only have like 3 to 5 discs that I've been taking with me so I can kind of learn them a bit. And I just practice a ton of putting. Now I got to figure out some fairways. So this is my little closet. These are all the discs that I'm like thinking about using in some capacity here. I have a whole other thing over there that is literally discs that I don't plan on throwing much. We'll pull out this Strike, which I've been really rocking with for a while, as just that neutral straight guy with a little finish. And then I really want that overstable and that understable. I don't really have a great understable slot. Thinking we can probably run with this Firebird, which I've been liking for a lot. It's Champion Firebird. For understable guys, I don't really have a lot of great options. Oh, that's another Firebird. What's this guy? Ooh, actually, I was planning on using an Essence, but I think I might actually try to bag an Escape. It was pretty flippy when I threw it initially, so I didn't really throw it a lot, but now that I'm at elevation, please don't drink, you'll get too drunk. I think that this might actually work. I'm gonna take this and an Essence and kind of throw them before the round and see what I like most. Me and this guy have gotten along as well, but I think the Escape, I don't know, they're just a little different. But I think today is the day that I reintroduce the babies. We got, as Matteo would say, the Tartar Graces. And I think these two will fit every slot that I need because this bottom one is pretty flippy and the top one is pretty stable. Actually, you know what? This one I was never planning on throwing. I was planning on saving it, but I'm not a very sentimental person, so we're going to throw the purple guy. But the one issue with Graces is they don't get super overstable. So we're going to have to actually add one last disc to the bunch, which will be 2021. Bunch of Destroyers as well, but the 2021 Calvin Heiberg Destroyer. And I'm still debating throwing Destroyers, so I want to actually put one in the bag and see about it. So we'll throw a Destroyer in there. Pretty simple bag, honestly. This is the type of bag I like to see. 3 throwing putters, 2 mids, 3 fairways, 4 fairways, because we got to decide on one, and 3 drivers. Don't need a lot to hopefully score well. Don't know what a good score would be, but hopefully, I'm just hoping to get like top 5, maybe. But I also haven't played this course, and we're at elevation responsibly. Yeah, I think I already just found a good way to film. Sure. Here, I'll actually show you this as well. The GoPro actually has a couple really nice features. One is that it's in a mode called Linear Plus Horizon Leveling. It means that no matter where you put it, the horizon is going to stay level on the camera, which is awesome. That makes my life super easy. It doesn't have to be super level on the bag. And then the other great part, all I have to do before I just lay it down, point it generally at me. Framing's not always as good as these videos, obviously, because I'm playing, but you just press this, boop, it comes on and starts recording at the same time. And there's no noises because I turned the noises off. So boom, it's recording. And then we get the shots. And that's how I did it all of last year. So there you go. I have GoPros linked in my description with all my equipment. If you want to pick stuff up, I always got affiliate links, and you can always support the channel just by buying stuff on Amazon. Awesome. Okay, we're actually probably going to be a little bit late. Hopefully not. But let's get out there. All right, we made it, and there's just like one glaringly obvious issue. I don't know if I have enough battery to film the whole thing, so hopefully we do. I thought I at least had charged my batteries before I stored them for 6 months, but I didn't. So that's a big L, but let's get to the tags. Hopefully we play decent. All right, looks like I brought in the second highest tag, so don't want to drop down too much.
Like
Always a good sign to make the first putt of the day, but let's get on to hole number 1, which is basically just like a 280-foot downhill shot, maybe only 250 feet. You can see I'm walking up with both my MV and my P1, trying to decide on a forehand or backhand. You can see that this gap kind of shapes up for the forehand line with a little bit of flex, and I'm still not quite used to how stable everything is up here. So I'm going to decide to throw my MV and just baby the crap out of it. What a bad first shot to start the round. Hopefully we'll be able to pitch up, take a par, but it is kind of jungle over there. And then of course I forgot that I was recording this round, so I didn't get my pitch up. It wasn't the best, wasn't the worst. Landed me about 15 feet. And if that last putt was anything to show what's gonna happen, just 15-foot break for the first time of the day. I'm gonna take a bogey. Oh my gosh. Alright, so I already forgot that I was filming, and then that rattled me because I missed my upshot, and I was like, okay, no, I just gotta just putt, and I rushed it. It didn't hit my spot. I've also just been undercommitted, which I think just means I need to feel like I'm overcommitting, but basket straight down there. I never have a problem when I feel like I'm overcommitting, only when I feel like I'm undercommitting. Those type of realizations during a round can be super helpful. So I'm walking up to this shot, I think it's about 280 foot, with a lot of the shot going downhill towards the end. So I just take my P1, my baby, my super straight disc, and I'm just gonna pump it out there, try to overcommit. I really like that shot because I knew that I could crash into some trees, and it landed me with this putt from a knee a little bit obstructed, but I'm just trying to focus on overcommitting. Definitely feels good to get that one back, but we're moving on to the next hole, which is about a 390-foot turnover pretty much. I'm taking my less stable Grace in my hand right now, but you're going to see I actually switch it up for my more stable Grace, which I think is a pretty bad decision, seeing as though I'm really not good at Anheuser's right now and haven't been practicing them much. So I try to turn it over. Actually, this tee pad had a lot of divots in it, and I think I blame that a little bit for throwing it pretty nose up because I feel like my timing got messed up. But at the end of the day, it wasn't a good shot either way. I was never going to really turn it over as much as I needed to.
Oh, that's lucky. Get sneaky. Yeah, free kick.
That's why I like these tag matches, because especially when like 2 of the 5 people on my card came out to me before the round and were like, hey, I'm a big fan of your channel. It's like, oh, that puts so much added pressure on me compared to just like a normal round where I'm just chilling. And then filming also too, so I like it. It adds an element of, this means absolutely nothing because it's just a tags match and I didn't even pay in for the CTPs, but I get that pressure turn-ish feeling, which is solid. Next hole is basically just a 380-ish foot hyzer downhill, so I just take my more stable Grace, put on a lot of hyzer, let it glide out. I meant to hit my spot a little bit more right, but I have just not been throwing with good form today, so anything that happens is going to wind up being okay. And I got this putt, which I felt really good about.
Got the wind read right, just pulled a little to the right.
So I'm really trying to get better about being comfortable missing shots, but having them feel good. And that was a putt that I'm actually pretty proud of, especially because I'm really not good at elevated baskets. 310 foot, straight shot, EMAC Truth, my baby that I got in Colorado. There were CTPs on every hole, so I was really hoping to get this one, but I was off by 6 inches.
Do it.
Oh, shoot. Oh.
I thought you were getting a badass air bounce up to the basket.
That one felt really good because I was a little bit of death putt. I was really debating between going back for my old straddle style or trying to stick with my new inline putt. Moving on to the next hole, it's basically just 315 feet. You do have to get around these last trees though, and I was a little bit afraid of the tree that's just to my right. So I'm going between my strike and my Firebird, and I think I make the wrong decision. I disc up to the Firebird, which I'm still not used to throwing this really overstable stuff up here.
That was weak sauce.
And I actually forget to stop recording, so we're winding up on the next tee with a par. So here I'm very much deciding between my pure P1 and Gotuku on a forehand. It's about 280 feet to the basket, but slightly downhill. So I throw my Gotuku. I thought I left it a little bit high, but it just kind of glided in the air. Almost aced it, but winds up with about a 20-25 foot putt slightly uphill. And this is another time where I think I made the right decision between my inline and my straddle. The next hole is pretty similar, honestly. If you take the forehand line, it's just over 300 feet, so a little bit longer, but Kotuku forehand again. I was a little worried that I left it too inside and it might have skipped over the boundary, but it didn't. So here we're looking at my lie, and I accidentally hit stop recording instead of start recording, so I missed this putt as well, and then I also missed the putt. All right, I'm happy the camera didn't turn on for that one because I just rimmed out like literally half an inch more I said, but just still didn't want to hit my spot. I need more practice on these elevated baskets, which good to know, and good to know that this course is close and I can come do that, which is awesome. Our next hole is like a 320, 330 foot either forehand or backhand hyzer. I think I stabled too much and threw my Calvin Destroyer. Also, I just can't throw flat right now, so I put on so much hyzer for no reason.
All right, man, you ain't gotta break our trees, man.
Left us with this outside the circle putt, which felt really good as well. I'm almost too tiny. What a freaking par. I like the line, I like the spin. Not mad about it. The next hole is kind of a little bit sneaky because it's up this hill, but it's only like 280, maybe 315 feet. I decided to take my flippy grace and try to hyzer flip it over the trees that are just in front of me. Thought I had a decent shot, but knew I left it about 10 or 15 feet low, and it just smacked the tree. Got sat down, we'll pitch up a Kotuku and take a par. Next up, we have a pretty simple 280 foot uphill shots that probably plays closer to about 300. Trusty EMAC Truth. I like my brace a little bit more if you notice it in this shot, but nothing crazy still. We got a lot of work to do. Left myself with like a 20 foot putt, which I'm a little disappointed about. I really wanted to be closer. And that's why. Definitely can't wait to get more practice on these baskets. Solid little birdie there, and next we're going my first big forehand in a while, and it just was not great. Left it low, left it hyzer like I've been doing everything, but it gave me an outside the circle look on kind of a little bit of a tricky hole here. Honestly, not too mad about this putt. It's kind of a weird stance, and I gotta do a lot more circle 2 practice. But this next drive, we won't think about it too much.
Throw a slight ante
Made it.
to get there, I think. Do your thing, you doing it?
I am not happy about that, so I kind of step up a little frustrated to this. You'll be able to see how I go real fast. P1 in my hand, simple hyzer, maybe 250 feet. My blood was pumping a little bit better than most of the round, so I actually juiced it a bit, but still inside the circle. But that doesn't matter if you can't make 25-foot putts on elevated baskets. But it's okay. This is a learning experience. Now we know what to do. I think I turned it off on accident instead of turning it on, but I made the putt. Dead center. And it's still caught somehow, which is surprising on this freaking basket. Now the main reason that's surprising is because the basket is super bent towards us, but when it hit dead center, it goes in. Unfortunately, I think my GoPro's batteries were bad because I had to switch them out, and then this started happening. And so I guess I only have one good battery, which is why these keep cutting in and out. Because it just shuts off automatically after like 6 or 7 seconds. So I started trying to rush some putts, rush some shots. Here's a really big 510-foot uphill hole that you're not going to be able to see the drive. You're barely going to be able to see the upshot. And then luckily, you're not going to be able to see the full putt. But this is our last hole. Alright, well my GoPro, I think something's wrong with 2 of the batteries. Because one battery, nothing was a problem, and then I had to switch batteries, and then they both were messed up. So I'm probably going to buy some new batteries for the next times I do this. A couple big takeaways. I think I'm 9th out of 29. Down 3 is not terrible for shooting my first time at this course, and it was fun to be out here. 2 things though major. 1, I need more practice putting in the wind and elevated baskets. The wind wasn't as much as the elevated baskets, but also cold hands. I realized when my hands get cold, I really need to focus on more wrist and elbow to use those levers instead of just focusing on popping my fingers. So probably practicing just having a more consistent stroke with a lot more elbow and wrist, kind of like Thomas Gilbert if you watched that putting video that I did with him. So I think practicing that'll be helpful so I don't have to rely on the finger pop when my fingers get cold. And second is I started with a bogey, but I was 3 down on the front 9 and even on the back because I definitely cooled
down. I think bringing snacks or something would be helpful, and then just like being a better back nine golfer. And that's the tendency for most of my tournaments too. Good things to realize. A lot of fun to be out here. I plan on playing a lot more leagues and stuff. So if you want to see these type of videos, let me know. I'll probably continue making them. If you want to check out my last video, check it out right down here. Otherwise, please subscribe to the channel. Lots more training definitely coming though. I'm feeling like I'm relatively consistently accurate with my backhand. My power is just not where I want it to be, so a lot more work to go. Okay, love you. Bye.